I'm Amy, and today I'll be giving my artist talk on artistic research in digital interactive art. So, I'll talk about my background first. My work sits between art and technology, and I'm interested in how interaction and making can function not just as outcomes, but as research methods. And in the past year, my practice focused on digital and interactive art, and I come from a background in computer science. This year, I became especially interested in human computer interaction because I worked as a new media technical assistant at the Harvard department, as well as a user interface and user experience designer at UBC's Emerging Media Lab. Because of these experience, I'm often thinking about the difference between art and design and how design usually aims to solve problems while art allows me to ask questions. In my work, I try to stay medium independent, meaning the idea comes first and technology follows rather than the other way around. And in this talk today, I want to focus on how I'll use artistic research and interactive digital media to balance technology and artistic expression and make technology driven art more human through audience interaction. I think the key word for today's speak is going to be audience interaction. So, first, I'll talk about this piece called The Clinic that I made earlier this year. It is an interactive piece where there is a microphone stand in the middle of the room, and there is a video projection on the back of the wall. And the video has two states. One is a very peaceful and calm, kind of like has a hotel background music, and it's kind of making people want to sleep. And the other state of the video is very violent. It's news videos and people protesting and fighting for their rights. Um, and when the viewer they interact with the microphone, when they talk over certain amounts of volume, then the state of the video would start changing. And that was intentional. That was how I intended it to work. But when I actually showed this piece to viewers, after around half an hour of looking at it, they decided that they want an end to this piece, and they all stand up and left the room as a way to like go against the very calm and quiet music. Okay. And watching people hesitate, explore, or misinterpret the interaction made me realize that the audience behavior was producing knowledge I couldn't predict in advance. So when I started first experimenting with interactive digital art in my first year, I constantly struggled with the question of medium. And digital technology often felt overwhelming. Sometimes the technology began to dominate the idea. And I found the solution to that is through repeated iteration, which are common in both design and HCI. And I realized that maybe I could use that idea in the process of art making as well. Because traditional research or design methods often fail to capture lived, emotional, and embodied experience. That's why a digital interactive work could capture things that all these couldn't capture before. That's when I started treating interaction and making as a research method rather than just a final output. And from an artist I really like, Rafik Anadol, he makes a lot of digital art through AI, but not in the way that like AI generate image, but it's algorithmic changing data, and he created very beautiful art through different types of data that he collected, like data of wind of a city, and that changes the work. And one sentence that he said in his paper was that human engagement is in the realm of digital art will make many forms, both in the physical world and in the metaverse, proving that human interaction is essentially the key in these kind of digital interactive art. Okay, so next I want to show a kind of field example from my work where the interaction and the digital didn't merge really well. So this is a piece I made called Falling, where I programmed a digital calendar that keeps dropping little weird shapes of stones in the background, and people would interact with another interactive part of balloons and water in front of it. And however, through this work, I became very aware of the separation between digital and physical media. The projection and the stones felt disconnected, and that tension became part of the research. It showed me where the work was failing and what I needed to refine next. So that proves the point to the process of making the artwork is also part of your research, and it's a very essential part where you can learn the most from what mistake you've had or what you wanted to improve. Several theorists helped me frame this approach. For example, Enric Thomas argues that artistic research offers critical ways to examine interaction and technology beyond efficiency or usability. And Rob described research creation as opening new ways of knowing through making and experimenting. Interactive art theory also emphasized audience participation rather than being passive viewers. Participants become co creators. This shift is central to my work as the audience complete the piece, the final piece. Okay, so here, moving forward, so far my work suggests that artistic research in digital interactive art can reveal insights about engagement and meaning making that traditional methods miss. And people often tell me they felt like part of the work, and feeling itself is a research outcome. Moving forward, I want to better integrate digital and physical media, and ultimately, my goal is to continue using artistic research to humanize technology and create meaningful interactive experience. Thank you for listening.